Nutrition guidelines lay out just how much 100% juice a child should consume based on their age. The American Academy of Pediatrics says that babies younger than 1 should avoid juice entirely, and children 1 through 3 should limit their intake to just 4 ounces a day, and those 4 to 6 should only intake about 6 ounces a day. And so yesterday we told you about Howard University's student newspaper turning 100 years old. And today we are taking a look at the journey and some of those bumps along the road. Michelle Marsh reports for WJZ that staffers say they still believe the future looks bright.
Going through the Hilltops archives is a trip back in time. Stories told through the lens of student journalists on the front lines of history.
As long as students have been protesting, the Hilltop has been there to cover it.
Editor-in-chief Jasper Smith is a senior journalism major.
We want to make sure that we are representing our motto, which is being the student voice of Howard University, whether it's holding administration accountable or documenting the lives and experiences of Howard students.
Thank you, everybody, for coming in tonight.
7 News was on campus for the Hilltops weekly editorial meeting. They're continuing a rich legacy of impactful local reporting that's been carried on for decades, beginning in 1924, when the monthly paper was co-founded by former Howard students Zora Neale Hurston and Eugene King.
We have a saying, for Zora. We're telling the stories that we're telling for Zora and for her mission, as well as Eugene King, and for what they stood for.
Junior history major and campus editor J.D. Jean-Jacques says that mission was laid out in the Hilltop's first issue on January 22nd, 1924.
The first story ever written was about registration problems on campus, and that was something that they wrote because they felt they needed to advocate on behalf of students.
Was there ever a point where the Hilltop was in jeopardy?
In the mid-'80s, the Hilltop did have some internal conflict, and at one point, the editor-in-chief had fired all of her staff except one editor.
The now weekly online publication evolving with time and technology, proving its staying power.
The whole organization knows that this is a professional news publication. This is not a club. We're training ourselves to be reporters, to be journalists, to be people who are intellectually curious about our surroundings.
Where do you see the Hilltop going? What is on the horizon?
Hopefully in 10 years from now, we'll have, doubled our audience.
We really have the opportunity to become a daily news publication. I think some of the collegiate newspapers that we read, that we look at, are doing exactly that, and we believe that we have just as much talent as they do.
And of course, as a Howard student, it's just amazing to see the newspaper really withstand the test of time and to see those students doing their thing. And so for the first time here in Maryland, a near complete fossilized woolly mammoth skeleton is on public display, and we'll show you it in just a second.